Mom, I'm so cold. My entire body was submerged in icy water. My skin had taken on a blue hue from the cold, and I trembled uncontrollably. Suddenly, there was a sound outside the house. I opened my eyes and, using every bit of strength I had left, climbed out of the bathtub and staggered toward the door. It must be my mom. She must have changed her mind and come back for me. I had worked so hard this year. Surely she would forgive me. Don't forget to take the gift. The traffic's bad today. We'll be late if we have to come back for them, she shouted. Mom, I'm sorry. I crawled across the floor with difficulty, kneeling in the living room as I whispered my apology. I'll work even harder next year. Please, just let me take some medicine. However, my mom only glanced at the phone on my desk. Her expression immediately turned furious. She strode over and kicked me hard in the face. I told you to finish memorizing 500 words on those flashcards while you're in the bathtub, and you dare disobey me? Didn't you say you have a fever? I prepared all that cold water to help bring your temperature down. That should have been enough for you to recover. My younger brother stood at the doorway, sneering impatiently. Mom, Erwin just likes to play tricks. He thought he could slack off without getting caught. If we hadn't come back to grab something, he'd definitely have snuck back into bed and wasted the whole day. My mom's expression darkened even further. Without another word, she grabbed my hair and dragged me back toward the bathtub, forcing my head into the icy water again. A worthless brat like you will only learn through punishment. As if afraid I might escape again, she reached behind the door and grabbed a rod, smashing it hard against the back of my head. You want to sleep, don't you? Then you can sleep right here. When you wake up, you can come out. If you haven't finished memorizing those words by tonight, I'll deal with you again when I get back. My dad, hearing the commotion, walked in from outside. When he saw the scene before him, he quickly shut the door, afraid that passing neighbors might notice. Honey, isn't this a little too much for Erwin? He asked. What's there to be afraid of? Talents are forged under the rod. If I'm not harsh on him now, he'll be the one suffering in society. They're both boys. Why is Jason able to complete every evaluation perfectly every time? It just proves Erwin isn't trying hard enough. However, I had already tried my best. In the final exams this term, Jason's ranking had dropped by 5, yet his monitoring software still reported that he had passed with a perfect score. Meanwhile, I had placed in the top 3, but the software said I had been seriously slacking off. So my mom dragged me out into the snow and forced me to kneel there for an entire night that time. She threw the rod aside and turned to leave. The door slammed shut again. I lost consciousness. I did not know how much time had passed before I suddenly realized I could no longer feel the cold. Staggering out of the icy water, I crawled toward my desk and opened the software. I had to finish memorizing today's words. If my mom came back and saw the big failed warning on the screen, she would be furious again. As long as I completed her requirements, she would treat me well. She would let me take medicine. I forced myself to open my English textbook. However, after reading only 2 words, a sharp pain suddenly tore through my chest. Clutching my heart, I looked helplessly toward the camera. Mom, I really tried my best, but no matter what I do, the software says I failed. I'm so tired. I don't have any strength left. Before I could finish speaking, my arm suddenly went limp and the phone slipped from my hands, crashing to the floor. I tried to pick it up in panic. Instead, I felt myself falling, my body collapsing straight to the ground. Then, suddenly, I was floating. When I looked down, I saw myself lying on the floor, my face deathly pale. The software's countdown reached 0. A sharp notification sounded, saying, evaluation failed. I muttered, Mom, I'm sorry. Even until my death, I still couldn't meet your expectations. Chapter 2. It was not until late at night that my parents and Jason returned, laughing as they walked in. Dinner was really good today. That hotel was nice. We should go again sometime. Just the 3 of us, my mom said cheerfully. I stood in the living room, my heart filled with a tangled mix of emotion. When she said the 3 of us, she had completely left me out of the picture. As I watched her take off her shoes, I instinctively stepped forward, ready to hang up her coat. It was my duty in this family. Standing before her, I spoke softly. I was wrong. I'll work even harder in the future. Will you forgive me? However, my words faded into the air. My mom did not hear a thing. Instead, she frowned slightly in irritation. My ears suddenly feel itchy. Am I getting sick? I stood there awkwardly, lowering my head to look at my own transparent body. I had almost forgotten. I was already dead, and no one could hear the words of the dead. Why hasn't Erwin come out yet? Go check on him. Something might be wrong. My dad mentioned it with a frown. I looked at my mom hopefully. Would she worry about me? Would she realize that her punishment had gone too far? She rolled her eyes. What could possibly be wrong? It's just a cold bath. It's not like he could die from that. After changing into her pajamas, she slowly walked to my room. When she pushed the door open, she saw me lying face down on the floor, completely motionless. It looked as if I were asleep. Lying on the floor to slack off, huh? She asked, clearly displeased. You think pretending like this will make me go soft? You're such a useless child. Stop playing dead. I rushed in front of her, shaking my head desperately. Mom, I'm already dead. Please come closer and have a look. Please save me. However, she did not move. She was convinced I was just pretending to be sick. Jason walked over, looking at me with a provocative smirk. Erwin, pretending won't help you. The software doesn't lie. Whether you passed or failed, Mom will know. Just get up already. Don't make her angry. My mom let out a cold laugh. Jason, you're my only good son. Since Erwin wants to slack off so badly, let him lie there. Let's see how long he can keep this up. My dad looked uneasy. Wasn't Erwin running a fever? Maybe we should let him sleep in the bed. No, my mom shouted firmly. He's just a lazy brat. I'm not letting him off that easily. He couldn't even memorize 500 words, and now he's lying on the floor pretending to be dead, hoping we'll feel sorry for him. Look at today's evaluation. He didn't memorize a single word. This is absolutely ridiculous. After saying that, my mom glanced at the wet marks on the floor and frowned in disgust. You can call yourself my son again when you're done cleaning up these disgusting stains of yours. She turned and left. I stood there, a deep ache filling my chest. Mom, if she would just step inside and take a closer look, she would see that I was already dead. Yet, she despised me so much that she would not even listen to me. In the middle of the night, I saw Jason sneak quietly into the room. He stole the homework I had already finished a few days earlier. In the past, I would have tried desperately to stop him. At that moment, I could only float silently in the air, watching as he swapped it with a blank notebook. You won't fool the software like this, I said softly. However, he did not see me. He simply turned and walked away. I crouched on the floor, looking at my body lying there. It's okay. After all, I'm already dead. From now on, I'll never have to try so hard again. I can take a good and long rest. Chapter 3. Early the next morning, my mom hurried everyone in the house to get up and prepare for a visit to my grandmother's house. She deliberately raised her voice and said, "Grandma's giving Jason a gift today. Lazy trash doesn't get one." Listening to her words, I took 2 steps forward, unable to hide my longing. In the past, every new year, my grandmother would give both Jason and me gifts and pocket money. I always hoped I could freely spend that money to buy something I actually needed. However, my mom always said that lazy people did not deserve money, so I never had any. Unfortunately, it was also my only chance to get some pocket money. If it were before, hearing my mom say that would have made me rush over immediately, admit my mistake, and beg her to take me along. I could not do that anymore. Erwin still hasn't come out, my dad asked as he adjusted his clothes. No, he probably thinks if he keeps this up, I'll eventually soften. My mom slipped on her shoes impatiently. Does he think being my son makes him special? Someone who doesn't work hard might as well be dead. Jason walked to the doorway of my room and looked around. He covered his nose and pointed at the wet stains on the floor, frowning in disgust. "Mom, Erwin smells awful. He's lying on the floor and has made your floor so dirty. It's disgusting." I floated in midair, watching his performance. I had been so cold that I could barely crawl back into the bedroom. I had not even had time to clean up the water. My mom walked over and frowned in irritation. "Erwin Hunt." She sniffed the air, her expression darkening further. "How can you be this lazy? Didn't you say you were sick? You can't even maintain basic hygiene, and now you're ruining the house too. You're so lazy. You're practically a pig." Suddenly, I remembered something from when I was younger. To make us finish our task, my mom once set a rule. Anyone who did not complete them was not allowed to bathe. I tried my best, but I still could not finish them. In the scorching summer heat, I smelled so bad that my classmates refused to sit next to me.